This is a great intro. Let's kick it for real.
Yeah, this is a beat I can really get down to. I used to listen to this music like 15 years ago when I would hit the clubs. And the club's not the only thing I would hit the beat too.
You better get up and hit that beat then, brother.
Yeah, let's go, He's hitting that beat.
Haha, okay, that is more than enough dancing. We have a radio show to do. Your dancing isn't really playing for the current medium.
He did hit that track though. Great job, you warlord of evil.
It was incredible. I do not want to stereotype anyone, but I have noticed that the people of the whole of Tamriel can really get down.
Ooh, I am a little dizzy. Sorry, but our guest Jagar brought me some of Brotron's skooma. It got me right wrecked. I'm feeling like one of the 8 divines.
Yeah, I noticed that you had an open bottle here in the studio in front of Mitch. Bold move, if I am being honest. Before we get into this, in studio we have me, Dagoth, Jagar, Benji, and Mitch. Before we get started, Becky, can we get some credits on this banger?
Yeah, I got the info here. Arno, it is called Gorilla with 1 L by the artist Alex_make music. I thought that it would be a nice energy to start the day with.
That skooma right there, would you be drinking that if Greg was here right now?
Greg isn't here though. Greg is going to be late today, so I do not see the issue. Be cool, Mitch.
I am just saying, if you wouldn't do it when Greg is here, why would you do it in front of Greg's boss?
Mitch, is this going to be a problem? As I understand, Dagoth does not even work here. He is an intern or something. Get off of his back and drink this skooma.
It just feels like you are openly disrespecting me by getting intoxicated in front of the program director. You understand that you are openly mocking me by being so free with breaking the rules.
Honestly, Mitch, I think we gotta let the skooma slide because Dagoth is already in Greg's bad book. Greg is mad about Benji posting the last Trump call and Dagoth being on a podcast with Joe Rogan. You were saying a lot of bad things on that. So, and please don't say anything, you guys. I think I will take control of the show and go into the first bit of the day. Benji has been putting me on some of this predator hunting stuff on YouTube. Not the hunting I used to do in the movies where I got that silly alien and made him forfeit. That predator got so mad that he blew himself up and then, bam, I won.
Benji put me on some YouTube content too. Power scaling videos from some Seth fellow. You take 2 people and compare their battle abilities. I wonder how I would do against that predator monster you fought. I have magic. That has to be a good thing going for me.
I went on a holiday to Jagar Prime, where the predators come from, and let me say that magic may not work. Now, I interviewed Superman in 2004, and he told me that the predator ships drained him of his powers. It is also possible that your magic could just vanish. They have like big attack dogs that are super fast, so before you even fight a predator, you would have to kill like 10 dogs. They are not like pit bulls either. They are scary dogs that rip stuff apart.
Dagoth can get rid of 10 dogs easy. He could get rid of 100 dogs with his spells. I have seen Dagoth mind control 100 people in Skyrim to walk into a den of vampires to be fed upon.
Jagar, I do not really like to talk about the crimes I have done in Tamriel. That vampire story is a little unsightly for a hit FM morning radio show. To be fair, they were a bunch of nasty Nords that went from city to city attacking normies.
I am just saying that 10 predator dogs are nothing for you. Remember what you did to those Silt Striders? I could just imagine what you would do to that first line of attack. Drink that, skooma king.
That is disgusting. To hurt a Silt Strider? I do not want to hear that. Regardless, after the dogs, you have to fight these muscle-bound freaks that wear special helmets. I wonder if they work like Max Eisenhardt's helmet? If that is the case, your blight would be useless.
Well, blight is just one of those moves I use for a quick result. I get paid a lot to use blight. which is a reason why the President owes me $25,000. I have great defensive buffs, and if I am at the Red Mountain, then it is massively buffed. Look at these claws, too. I will mess them up. I mean, it might be the skooma talking, but I am sure my claws are longer, and I will scratch their knuckles before they can reach mine. And I'll hit a fat drop on them when I take another sip. Brr. I would win, 'cause I also have like 6 classes of magic mastered.
You okay, buddy? You're starting to talk a little gibberish.
You're talking a lot of facts, Day Goth. Do not listen to the old lady here. Here, drink more skooma.
No. I think I had enough. Grotron has the best skooma. Just know that I would destroy a predator. I am not lying when I say I am in the same class as the princes. If I can mess up Maroon's Dagon, then I can beat down some no-name space monster.
That is interesting. Maybe we need to use your blight to help some of these other predators. During the time of me being a senator in California, a show ran on the air to catch a predator. This caught all men, but people who came to meet children for an inappropriate meeting. I mean, during my time in office, there were a lot of active predators. The kid-getters, not the space aliens. I mean, that crew was always doing stings in the California. Benji, do you have the one sheet that you were showing me earlier? Now, unfortunately, I do not think California was an exceptionally dangerous part of the country for children. But California, like states with kid attractions, think Florida, these states have a lot of people who work in these industries going after the kids. That was not the big fear for me. Who knows anyone who works at Nickelodeon or Disney? I got really scared by seeing how many teachers and doctors there were coming into the sting houses, who knew there were so many dangerous people out there so close to children. In my older age, I have found myself being a little more sympathetic to non-offending predators. But when they are this close to kids, I feel uneasy. Something that my 20-year-old assistant told me was that you can assault someone by taking advantage of them, even if you do not coerce them. So, like, what if these creeps are stealing glances? I think there was a guy named Walter who was a teacher. This guy's students were interviewed, and they said they felt weirded out by him.
Oh, Arnold! This is all entrapment. Think of it. Walter would have never gone to that house if he wasn't invited over by an adult pretending to be a child. If a child never invited him over, he would have never offended. This TCAP crew are making problems, not solving them.
I do not advocate violence, but this is why you got attacked. You say some out-of-pocket stuff. And that is why that Nord punched you in the nose. Seriously, people can't even recognize you by your voice. Regardless, Walter thought it was a 13-year-old, so that point is irrelevant.
There is a principle the law follows, the if not for rule. If not for TK posting and luring these innocent men online, then they would not offend. TKP is giving these men the opportunity for crime. Reminds me of a story that happened to me in High Rock. No, it was in the capital, actually. I forget where it was. It has been a minute. I was shown a way to rule the whole of Tamriel, and I took the opportunity by sealing up Uriel. If it was not so easy, then I would not have done it. You know what? They called me a bad person, and they punished me for a long time. You know, I was really the victim in everything that had happened in that whole Emperor situation.
I wouldn't say you were innocent. You were quite nasty to the people of Tamriel, and you said some bad guy-esque stuff to the champion. Becky, can you pull up some of those leaked tapes?
Well, don't pull up the leaked tapes. Those were literally taken in a one-party consent state.
Yes, I have the clip pulled up. Day Goth, we can play that now, if that's what you want. Do not worry. Nowhere in Tamriel has recording consent laws.
Well, I still do not want you to play the clip. It is very exposing, you know. I was a different person back then.
Honestly, at this point, we have to, just to show how bad faith you are, you are a pretty bad guy, and I know how mad Greg is at you for telling Day Goth all that dumb stuff and making him repeat it on that podcast.
Whatever, you can just go ahead and play it.
You have survived the tests most dire. Continue along this path, however, and you will face such things as to make your very heart freeze.
Oh my God, that is terrible. What were you going to do to him? Were you fixing to hurt him? This is to the champion, right? The guy who was going to save the emperor? You are a gross person, Jake. God!
First of all, you cannot even tell if that was me. Does that die sound the same as me right now? And I am sure that whoever that person was, they were just practicing self-defense.
Becky sent over another clip here, and Jagar, remember that you were just punched in the face outside of the building by a Nord protester.
And you do sound like a shrill snake person. You sound like how Sage Mode Kabuto looks. Shrill, evil, thin, weak little man energy. Roll that second clip.
Me, and now have paid the ultimate price. Even now my servants go to fetch your mortal husk. You will serve me well through my years as Emperor. Once I have made you undead, perhaps I will even let you retain some of your memories, so that the price of your failure has meaning to you.
That is unacceptable behavior. Jagar, you are the sickest freak that I have ever seen.
And getting your torture ideas from a TV show made for kids. Jagar, that is some sad work. I was watching Vampire Princess Miyu when we saw that episode. The abandoned subway scene where the frozen women cry. You are not slick. What's next? You going to copy the Brain's plan to conquer the world?
So what? That was a very emotional episode. It fades to black with only the cries of the frozen vain women left. It was a great episode. Also, relax. Most evil ideas have been done before. Garfield 2 was almost an exact rip-off of my plan against Uriel.
Do me a favor. Do not try to defend other bad people during this current segment. You are one gross person, Jagar. I would like to have a good faith discussion. I fear you're either too mean or trolly to engage appropriately.
Anyways, back to the point. Jagar is a scummy person who defends hurting the weak. Benji, do you have that one sheet for me? Looks like they went to Riverside County, Petaluma, and Long Beach. I could be wrong, but concerning Riverside, my favorite predator was the SpongeBob jacket. Or if it was the basement, then it would be that Opie and Anthony fan. I could see Anthony being in trouble for messing with a minor. Regardless of who my favorite predator was, which is what the show boiled down to, there were more than 300 predators found in these investigations. Very concerning. A honeypot that attacked the predators, and they got that many semi-local people falling for the trap. So before we discuss the difference between to catch a predator and the predator poachers, I would like to set up the stage. For TCAP, the focus is to get the predator to the sting house to prove intent. They do this by messaging and chatting with adults online. They never message first. They have their profile fully displaying the decoy age, and then they proceed to the trap. Then Chris has a surface level conversation with these people. There's just a few issues. The first two stings were brand new, and no one knew what to expect. They got an infinitely larger amount of predators. Those first two stings had no police, and the later ones did have police. They fixed that issue. The second issue is, due to the volume of predators, they had to get them in and cuffed before the others came in, so they had specific time crunches. Plus, Chris did not try to manipulate these predators. Manipulate is going to have negative connotations, but it is accurate in this situation. So with predator poachers, they talk online and everything is the same. The difference is that they go to the predator and try to have an hour or longer discussion on their current actions and attraction. where Chris Hansen comes off as an authority figure, and for many reasons. He is an adult in the meeting spot, he dresses and acts professional, and he speaks well. Also, I think he is tall, or at least looks taller than the Predators, because they always are sitting. Alex comes off as helpful, and many of the Predators view him as a friend. This is how he is able to have these long conversations and how he delves into their current bad acts online. I like that Alex also goes after people who do not meet up with kids, because they're doing really bad things too.
Predator poachers are crazy. I saw this 20-something-year-old get confronted. His brother just did time for trading pictures, and mom was running defense for her creep son, and like another one of her kids were there, and he was a prison guard, and they all ran defense and blamed the 13-year-old girl.
You will get that with anything. Enablers are a very harmful group of people. I would watch my 600-pound life and see these people being fed to death by the ones who love them the most. I see it the same with people who defend the predators, just making excuses for a bad behavior.
I mean, it is hard. How do you come to terms with the fact that your loved one is a monster who is actively sowing chaos in their community? Heartbreaking stuff. That is why I make sure that no one acts on their bad thoughts. I do it by dominating their dreams.
It is easy to say, just use blight. But some of these people look genuinely upset for the material they look at. We need to find a way to help those people, and I think both programs serve to do that, truly. I think Chris is doing good work going for quantity, whereas Alex is going for quality.
Benji showed me this stuff too. It seemed that back in the day we had more professional predators, like teachers and stuff. We had some degenerates for sure, but predator, poachers, offenders are all degenerate weirdos. Did the successful people wisen up?
I don't think that is the case, Goth. Computers were a niche hobby even as far back as 2004. I know it is hard to think, but it was not a big hobby. You think of this, people who are looking for specific communities flocked to the internet, and that is how we have the social difference in TCAT. Also the financial barrier. The internet was just starting to be built into an easy-to-use web. We had sites like Yahoo Chat and GeoCities. If you were not into that, would you spend for the expense of a computer and internet? I feel in the past it was a richer person hobby or a neat hobby.
Don't forget about those guys like Michael Weir who used the public library to message the minors. Honestly, what a creep. This guy was sitting in the public library, chatting up a young kid. And did you see the beeline he made towards the kid? Wild stuff. Doesn't fit in with your theory though, Mitch.
Degenerates with too much time on their hands, that perfectly explains Michael Weir. Sitting in the library just killing time until his next crazy life event. He is no better than the homeless guys who used to pleasure themselves in the library.
I know I have been asked to leave the library many times based on my attire. I then point at the people pleasuring themselves at the computer and, well, we all get kicked out. What were we talking about again?
We were just talking about the early days of the internet being the time where the more successful predators were caught, as opposed to the class of people caught by the predator poachers. Very poor and sad people who are like so pitiful. I'm not saying like I feel bad for them, but look at them.
I understand what you are saying, but these people have agency. We know that there are many different ways to be drug into that lifestyle, but their acting on it is the issue. Frankly, the desire is the issue too. Just because they have gross lives doesn't mean they were destined to be creeps.
Okay, you have this one girl in this specific case who is covering for her boyfriend. I know that a reasonable person would not interact with her predator, but this girl was dumb and objectified for her whole adolescence while online. Her parents failed her, and she was used by her boyfriend here. I guarantee that she tried to take the blame because of some stupid legal advice she heard. Something like, women get less time than men, or you would get less time since you are 17 or 18 or whatever she was. Like she was groomed to be the scapegoat. Throw them in prison, but like sad stuff. I just think like these predators are hurting and abusing more people than just children, which is a wild thought to have, in my opinion.
Arnold, that is not crazy. These predators will use any resource that they can to get what they want. After they get what they want, they throw it away like a piece of meat. I have a couple cool YouTube videos we can watch. The Michael Rafferty case and this NAMBLA doc called Chicken Hawk. Bad stuff. I mean, come on, some of these guys date single mothers just to get access to the kids. So the mother is the victim there. Or they will have family members that defend them, like with that guy, the Jen Soto boyfriend. His parents defended him and still support him in jail. I mean, I am a big true crime junkie, so I have seen a lot of this stuff. Everyone's lives get affected when someone does a crime. And the massive effect of being a predator has equally massive consequences on the family members of both parties.
No one talks about how these sting houses are setting up these people Arnold cares about. Arnold, wouldn't you like it if they weren't coerced into a crime?
I think I am getting their point, Jagar. If it was not the fake house, it could be a real house. They could have been lured or would have lured a real minor. That is the issue. So, I get it. There is no if not for here, because, they would have done it anyways, based on what they wanted.
Becky, this flashing light, is this a call?
Yes, it is a caller. I will patch him through right away.
Hello, am I one there?
Yes, hello. Thank you for calling the Arnold and Greg show. What is it that you wanted to add today?
Why doesn't anyone talk about how these teens are going around dressed in almost nothing, and then I get yelled at for looking? Those future streetwalkers are out there looking like little...
Cut the call. Roll to break now. We do not want that type of caller. See what you did, Jagar?